Months of polling are causing the Democrats to panic. They're about to lose one of the most reliably blue states in the entire nation. We're going to see the latest on how President Trump is poised to flip a state that no Democrat ever imagined possible in their worst nightmares. And then
May.
I think he's got until May.
No way.
I feel like right around May they're going to pull him.
No way.
Wait until you see what Joe Rogan is saying about Biden, the 2024 election. Gang, let's just say it's all collapsing for the Democrats. You're going to absolutely love this. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot professor, here to help you stay sane in the midst of these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and let's dive right in.
Minnesota isn't considered a presidential battleground state in 2024, at least not yet. For the third straight month, our exclusive KSTP Survey USA polling shows Minnesota to be a statistical dead heat between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
It's true. The state of Minnesota, a state that not even Ronald Reagan was able to win, is poised to flip to Trump. Take a look at this Survey USA poll of Minnesota that just dropped yesterday. Right now, as we speak, Trump and Biden are in a statistical tie, with Biden slightly leading 44-42. The key factor here is the amount of support for a third-party candidate. It's at 11%. Now, Red Eagle Politics had a great analysis on this. He pointed out that the rule of thumb here is that in Minnesota, if a third-party vote share hits the 8% threshold, Donald Trump has a really good shot at actually winning the state. And that's exactly what local Minnesota news coverage is saying.
Since our first 2024 poll in January, the presidential race in Minnesota has remained close, with Biden leading by 3, 4, and now 2 points, all nearly statistical ties.
A lot of pundits and pollsters have assumed that Minnesota is a safe Democratic state in 2024. This poll indicates that is not the case.
There are two persistent trends in the Minnesota race between Biden and Trump. There's a big gender gap, with Biden leading by 15 among women and Trump leading by 10 among men. Geographically, Biden continues to dominate the Twin Cities 49-34, but Trump has big leads everywhere else, by 13 in southern Minnesota, 28 in western Minnesota, and by 8 points in northeastern Minnesota.
We have the Twin Cities and the inner ring suburbs that are heavily blue and Democratic, and the further away you get from that, the more Republican and conservative is the state.
Now, this polling is being corroborated by the RCP average, the Real Clear Politics polling aggregate that averages out all the polling done in Minnesota. Look at this. Biden's leading by an average of just 2 points, 2.3 in freaking Minnesota. By comparison, in 2020, Biden was leading by over 7. And that itself is suggestive because Biden ended up winning Minnesota by only 2 in 2020. The polling average way overstated the Democrat support for Biden. The average was 7. He ended up winning by only 2. And apparently that's been a pattern over the years among the pollsters. Minnesota tends to overpoll for the Democrats and underpoll Republican support. So if that's the case, can you imagine the horror that Democrats are going through right now, seeing Trump and Biden now in a statistical tie? If they're statistically tied in polling that tends to significantly overestimate Democrat support and underestimate Republican support, the projected results are rather obvious. I mean, when all is said and done, all of the polls that we're seeing coming out in Minnesota represent a horrendous collapse in support for Biden and what is, at least in terms of presidential elections, the single most reliable Democrat state of them all. Again, not even Reagan was able to win Minnesota. And in that analysis we just saw from local Minnesota news, we're seeing why. We're seeing why Biden is losing. It's a twofold trend. One, Trump is crushing it in the rural areas. And two, at the same time, he's eating into the margins of Biden's support in urban areas among Latinos and blacks. Remember, Trump is seeing the highest support among non-white voters ever for a Republican candidate. And that combination, massive support in rural areas while eating away at Biden's margins among the non-white urban vote, is the key to Trump's winning. It's the political sweet spot, as it were. Galvanize the rural vote en masse, all the while minimize the Democrat urban vote by siphoning more votes than ever away from Biden's margins. That combination looks as if it may indeed give Trump the unthinkable, Minnesota in 2024. And this surge has a lot of pundits talking about the end of Biden even before November. When did you see what Joe Rogan is saying? This is going to absolutely make your day. But I got to say, given the legacy media's penchant for blatant lying and fake news, I'm so excited about news resources like that of today's sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that takes the chore of digging through multiple sources on a topic and does it for you so you can compare coverage. It's so neat because they provide additional context on each publication, like where on the political spectrum they skew, how credible their reporting is, and even who funds the source. Check this out. Take, for example, this article on a non-citizen being appointed to San Francisco's election commission, right? When I use Ground News, I could see that exactly 21 articles have covered this story. Now, interestingly, you'll note the left-wing media completely ignored it. 100% of the sources are right-leaning. So you can actually see for yourself in real time if an event doesn't fit their narrative, the left-wing media will completely black it out. That's one of Ground News' best features. They reveal the blind spots so you can share that with your friends who have yet to get red-pilled. I love this resource, and you will too. There's never been a more important time to be aware of the extreme bias in our media outlets. So click on that link below or go to ground.news/Dr. Steve to check it out. Head over right now to subscribe through my link for as little as $5 a month and get 30% off unlimited access to the Vantage subscription. When you subscribe, you not only support me, you'll also be supporting an independent platform trying to make the news more transparent. Click on that link below right now.
May.
I think he's got until May.
No way.
I feel like right around May they're going to pull him.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And Newsom comes in.
I think he just has health problems, and then the country understands, and Newsom is going to have his support fully, and Kamala is going to I don't even want to be president. I'm cool with being vice president.
So Newsom runs with Kamala?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they can pull
shit.
Kamala. I think as long as they keep her quiet, she's already whatever
been
liability she
quiet,
is,
bro.
she's so quiet.
Now, gang, just to let that hit you here, if you knew nothing about the campaign, right? You knew nothing about how it was going, and then you heard someone like Joe Rogan saying that about Donald Trump. What would you think about the state of his campaign? Again, if you knew nothing about what's happening in either campaign, but then you came across that, commentators predicting that the party was going to ditch its candidate, how would you think that candidate is doing? You see, what's so fascinating here to me is how what Rogan said there, along with these Minnesota polls that are coming out, so starkly contrasts with the fabricated, simulated reality that the legacy media is trying to persuade their dwindling audience of. Really, in the end, more and more people are realizing that they're being given a choice each and every single day. Believe your own eyes or believe the so-called experts, the experts of the legacy media. Believe your own eyes seeing Biden falling down all over the place. Believe your own ears when you hear Biden failing to be able to put two intelligible sentences together. Believe your own wallet in terms of rising gas prices and a falling dollar. Believe your own sense of danger when walking the crime-ridden streets of any major city, or believe the fabricated reality of the legacy media, who daily tout that Joe Biden is the single greatest human being who's ever walked the earth. If these polls in Minnesota are any indicator, it appears that that verdict is in. And come November, it looks like the legacy media is not going to like the answer. Hey gang, I just wanted to give you a huge note of thanks to each and every one of you, the thousands of you that have recently clicked on the link below and joined our Insiders Club. As many of you know, we took a big hit from big tech. Our channel was completely and totally demonetized, but you, literally thousands of you, stepped in and you rescued me and this channel by bypassing big tech and joining our Insiders Club. You made it loud and clear to the Silicon Valley oligarchs that we're a movement, an army of like-minded patriots who refuse to be silenced by the international woke police. And so once again, I just want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you who have joined our Insiders Club for coming to our rescue. And for those of you who want to join in on the effort and take action, gang, just click on the link below and join our email list. That way we will never, ever, ever lose touch with each other, no matter what big tech does. So just click on that link below, join our email list, and become a part of an army of literally hundreds of thousands of patriots dedicated to taking our nation back, most importantly, together.